I will say, for a man that gets punched in the face for a living, he's very handsome. You love McDonald's.
I love McDonald's, yeah.
So people didn't believe me, but I remember for a short period of time when we were young, there was a Mega Mac, and like people never seemed to remember that there was one and be like, you're lying. So I got really excited when they said, when they did this new campaign for like the Grand Mac to mark the Big Mac's birthday. There were rumours flying around that they still had the Mega Mac in Japan. So last time we were in Japan, I went to find out if that was true, and it is indeed true. I had a Mega Mac in Tokyo Airport in 2016. One Direction, R.I.P.
Yeah.
It's one thing I will say about that photo is, you know, when you get to like a certain age and you feel like you don't really feel like you're aging. Like you look at pictures of yourself like 5 years ago, and you're like, oh, I feel like I look identical. Whereas then you see pictures of a band like One Direction, who I guess were probably like 18 there, and now, you know, they look like boys, and now they look like men. I'm like, how did they become men from boys in the time it's taken me to like grow 3 extra facial hairs or something?
Yeah, we met them in Japan. We had a call from their security, and they said they were coming. A couple of them were coming to see us play, and then we went and sang karaoke. It was a lot of fun.
I miss them. I know. I really like.
I think one of them got really sick, didn't they?
I sometimes. I don't know. I like cultural phenomenons, and I'm always like looking for the next one. I really like it when that sort of thing's happening, even if it's like not relevant to like me as a person or who we are, or what we do, or anything. I'm obsessed with like things that like go above and beyond anything else, and like I like having that sort of stuff going on. I don't really know who's doing that at the moment.
Yeah.
I guess Dua Lipa maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Zayn. I think it was. I heard that he was so hungover the day after that he couldn't make the press conference they were doing or something.
I asked my friend if he'd been to a gig there, and he said that he had, but it wasn't a music. It was like he queued. Apparently, she did 3 nights there. This kind of like Indian prophet or something, and you queue and you get a hug from her. But apparently, she sold 3 nights out.
Who's your mate?
I don't want to go into it, but apparently he queued for like 6 hours and said it was like one of the best shows he'd ever been to. Like an amazing atmosphere.
Has he been to see us yet?
No, this woman sold 3 nights out at Alexandra Palace, and we could only do 1. I do think that Josh looks like Tim, our new guitar
I hear that
player.
a lot, yeah.
They look identical to me, particularly with that hair. Yeah.
I actually had a nightmare about Josh last night. That's really funny. I dreamt that there were just a million people that looked vaguely like Josh. They all had the same hair. It was like some kind of...
Your brother's had the same hair for about 10 years. He doesn't seem to age.
He works with what he got.
Yeah.
It was like a million kind of like Japanese anime Joshes running around. It was terrifying.
Conor McGregor.
Conor.
I guess this is a combat sports reference. Is his name Conor?
Conor McGregor, yeah.
Our drummer, Jan, is obsessed with him. He's like his style icon.
He has terrible taste, our drummer.
I will say, for a man that gets punched in the face for a living, he's very handsome.
A vaccine.
A vaccine. Or if that's, yeah.
We cause autism.
That it does annoy me that like still, if like sometimes we'll like play a show, particularly when we play like a new song, I'll like YouTube this to see like how it sound, like to see how our performance was. But then like, so you have to go to YouTube and then like, the vaccine's uploaded in the last 7 days, and then it's just like angry mothers like talking about vaccines in the US, which is like this big thing that we don't have here. But I guess it's like, yeah.
It's definitely a bigger thing in America.
Yeah, the controversy around whether or not these vaccines are good or bad for your children. I'm not a father, so I wouldn't know. Debbie Harry.
Debbie.
Amazing.
Debbie.
We love Blondie. It annoys me that people call her Blondie, like a bit they call, John McClane from Die Hard. It's like she's not called Blondie, she's called Debbie Harry.
Well, they used to have badges, didn't they? That said Blondie is a band.
Really? Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, she's an amazing frontwoman, an amazing singer. They're an amazing band.
Yeah, we
had tea once with her. Met her once, and then she came to see our our first show in New York at Barry Bourne.
She did. Yeah.
She never came back though. It's like those stories. They're like they're the stories that stick. But actually, it would probably be a better story if like she loved the show and then came back every single time we played in New York. But alas, she's never been back. So Debbie, if you're watching, you're welcome anytime.